but this is one of the problems with our industry, our profession, our education, is that we have put ourselves in a very small, tight corner because the way we are taught to learn about music is not to make mistakes.
Yeah.
That seems to be almost the number one priority.
Right.
Instead of like, let's explore the music, let's experiment with the music.
When do you think that started? That kind of mentality? Because if you hear Edwin Fischer's recording of these preludes and fugues, there are mistakes all over the place, even memory, and he's probably reading. They're just like the recordings are there. They're perhaps the greatest recordings of these people, and yet there are mistakes all over the place. When do you think that started? When did we get so
Well,
anal about?
I'm not sure if what I'm saying is historically accurate, but I would say that definitely music competitions are to blame.
Yeah.
I think recordings are to blame. And both of those things demanding a certain kind of perfection. And if we speak about music competitions, I mean, how do you really judge one pianist over another? You know, we can have debates about who is the greatest tennis player. Many people would say, whatever, Federer or Nadal or whoever. But the numbers and the statistics show that Djokovic is currently the greatest player because he's won the most Grand Slams. He's been the most weeks at number one, etc., etc. He's won the most points.
Right.
And in tennis, yes, at the end of the day, it's about points. Do you win that match point? And if you do, you win the championship or you win the game. So this kind of are you better or not is very metric. There are metrics to it, and you can have philosophical conversations that why you think one tennis player is better than the other, even though maybe they never even won a Grand Slam in their life. But with music, you can't really judge. I mean, I would even go so far as to say something like wine tasting. I mean, yes, you have experts. You have sommeliers who are highly trained, but at the end of the day, you either like it or not.
So you're saying that one of the ways for them to judge the winner of a competition is by whoever doesn't make mistakes.
Absolutely.
Sort of like
because that's a clear metric. Right. Oh, yeah, he played, but he missed 5 notes and he had a memory slip. Well, because those are clearly defined metrics by which you can evaluate someone. Because how can you evaluate Glenn Gould versus Edwin Fischer?
Yeah.
You can say, I prefer this guy's interpretation. I prefer that person. But Edwin Fischer made 5 more wrong notes than Glenn Gould. That's easily, and then especially if you don't like the way someone played, you can use that as collateral.
So
ammunition to say, I don't want this one in.
I was in Rio de Janeiro many years ago, and a very famous pianist, I'm not going to mention any names.
Just give the first letter and the last letter.
He's
now we know it's a man.
Yeah,
now we know it's a man.
And he's no longer with this.
I would have said she.
No, it was a he. It was a he.
Yeah, but just to make
to make it
even more because now you've narrowed it down.
And this is somebody who, by the way,
you said he's
I
dead.
admired a lot, and still admire.
Yeah.
Great guys,
Yeah.
Great musician,
Yeah,
especially a great musician.
Okay.
And he came to Rio. He performed a beautiful Beethoven 4th Piano Concerto, and because he was already, very old, there were some memory lapses and stuff, but everything was, really beautiful. We're having dinner with a group of friends after the performance, and he was, telling a story because he was the judge of many piano competitions, prestigious piano competitions, including the Queen Elizabeth competition. And he said, well, I just came from the Queen Elizabeth competition, and there was a wonderful, wonderful pianist there, but unfortunately we couldn't give her the first prize because at the last round, the concerto round, she had some memory. She had some memory sleep. So that was very unfortunate because she was obviously the best artist, but we couldn't do it. And I tried to control myself.
You want to punch me in the
Yes,
face.
yeah. So, but then I just couldn't. Needless to say, it was not the right thing to say. But I told him, like, Mr. Such and Such, this is very unfortunate because
Totally.
just yesterday you have many memory lapses, and yet your performance
You said
it's like your performance will forever stay in my heart.
wow.
Because it was that beautiful.
Wow.
And I would feel very guilty, and I would not be able to live with myself if by listening to something so unique and so beautiful at such a high level, I have to make a decision to not grant you the opportunity of a career of playing with for other people, or exposing other people to your artistry, just because you made a memory mistake. And I think he was so upset about it. When I say he's like, I didn't make that many memories.
That's what he thought.
That's what
Yeah.
he thought.
Instead
I
of
didn't have any memory.
yeah, of course.
Instead of saying like, "Oh, you're right," or "No, I didn't have that many memories." I was like, "Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did." But that's not the point.
That's not the point.
He
at all.
didn't speak to me
That's not.
for the rest of the dinner, and after that, I was on the red list. But anyway,
This is where I think.
but you're right.
But this is where I think where we have been misinformed, or we are misdirected, because music goes beyond the notes, the text, the accuracy, the form, the structure, the analysis. All of that stuff is important and relevant, but when it actually comes down to it, it's I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the energy, the intention, the emotion behind it. That is the thing that actually transcends a listener or not.